Hey, welcome to your day off. My name is Corey, and I'm the host of this here podcast. And once again, I'm super excited to. I don't know if it's an announcement or re-announcement. I don't know what it is, but just so we'll talk about, it, I'm sure for the next few months, is that in 2025, Hairdustry Your Day Off podcast is collaborating with Gabby Bach from Beauty Launchpad. I kind of see this as a podcast that's an extension to Beauty Launchpad. So we're going to be talking about some of the stuff that they are putting in their issues and try to keep that as a kind of, I guess, a timeline, I guess. But also we get to have other conversations as well. We don't have to be, we're not strict to that. However, we're also aware of that. Maybe that's the best place. What's up, Gab?
What's up? How you doing, Corey?
I am doing amazing. This has been fun, man. I think we're like 5 or 6 episodes in now, and this has been fun.
Yeah, I feel like we're starting to find our groove, starting to find our rhythm and sort of what works between the two of us. Like I like the collaboration of, working with someone or collaborating with someone who's, behind the chair, who's in the industry doing it day to day and, being a media outlet, providing the insights, like I think it's just a nice pairing between the two of us. So
I,
we're
I,
having
I
fun.
I totally love it, and I'm learning a bunch from you, and just kind of like how the media and stuff works, and how that because I'm very much when it comes to this, like from the seat of my pants kind of stuff, and like what motivates me and stuff. But it's nice to have a different vision about that, and to kind of see things. So, but at the end of the day, and why I think this is so cool is that I think not just Gabby but Beauty Launchpad, we've really in what Hairdustry and what Your Day Off has always done, and that's celebrate the industry and the people that work behind the chair, or I'm not just behind the chair, but celebrate the industry as a whole. So that's why it makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, I think our goals and our visions are very much aligned. I started out at Beauty Launchpad as an assistant editor, and I'm now currently a managing editor. Yay!
Yay.
Which is exciting. Just continually growing and climbing the ranks, which is fun. But I've learned so much about the industry in the like 2.5 years that I've been with Beauty Launchpad, almost 3 years. And the biggest thing is now that I have control of the magazine, I'm getting to make all the executive decisions behind it. Very much my goal and what I want to set me apart from all the editors that came before me who taught me and instructed me so well is really figuring out like what is it that the hair professional needs and providing those resources, that education by reaching out to the people in the industry who are the best of the best at what they do and giving a space for them to be able to just share their knowledge because that's what the industry is all about, right? Like there's so much that I've learned, community and support and people wanting to be loud about what it is that they're doing and how they can help others in the industry grow and thrive. And so it's just like one big sort of just like cycle of, but we're the resource and the platform to be able to do that and amplify it.
Well,
Just
I
one.
love, you use the word loud, and I think that's a perfect segue to our guest today because our guest has never shied away from controversy, has never shied away from what their opinion is. So I think that's a perfect segue. And here's the best part: she's not even offended that I just called her loud. But Gabby, go ahead and bring in our guest today.
Yeah. So taking us back a little bit to 2024, this guest has contributed to our magazine a little bit, but was also our November, December artist spotlight. So make sure you go and check that out. Yes, there it is. She's holding up her wonderful, wonderful feature, where she talks about, being a multifaceted pro behind the chair and how she got her start in the industry and all the things. So definitely make sure you go and check out that feature. Please welcome the very lovely Gina Sicard.
Hey everyone.
Gina? Is it Sicard now? Did I mess it up?
I feel like my name is always going to be Gina Bianca in the hair
Yeah.
industry, but my government is Gianna Sicard.
There you go. So I guess we'll promote it as Sicard then, right?
Call me whatever. I mean, I really don't. Gina Sicard, yeah. I have to get used to my last name, but it's so weird when you've built your own name to like take your husband's last name, but I'm very old fashioned, believe it or not. I'm very old fashioned and traditional. I wanted to take his last name. So it's always funny. It's like, what do you want me to call you? And I'm like, I'm keeping my handle the same, but I guess you can call me Gina Sicard. I like my new last name.
I like
And
your
that's
last name too.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I do whenever I like, as much as it sounds dumb, when I send hair professionals like Q&As of like, here's some questions for an artist spotlight, and then I'll go and take their answers and pile it all together, editorialize it as I do. Like the first thing I ask is like name, because it's like I know your name, but to make sure it's spelled correctly, make sure it's also the way you want it. because maybe like you would want it to be Gina Bianca, then that's how I would write it. Or if you wanted it to be, first name, last name. So I just use, what you gave me. And,
No, I think 2025, I'm going to start branding my new last name.
There you
nice.
go.
Love it.
I like that. I like that.
I am Gina Sicard.
I don't know. Do I change it? That would be
No,
crazy.
so I don't think so.
Maybe in
You know
2026.
what? Olivia did. I mean, Olivia, she rebranded a couple years ago. Olivia, you know how she's in my phone? Olivia no longer Smalley.
Well, she's got her OMG artistry handle. Like that's a good handle.
Yeah.
That's like I had my hair doctor handle and I killed it in like 2019. I still don't know why I did that.
You
I really
probably
wanted to I wanted people to know my name though. Like I feel like in the hair industry, like everyone has their handle, right? But like you don't know a lot of people's name. So like that's why I did that. I wanted to start branding my name.
ironically, that was what happened when the first time that I met Olivia in like face to face. I had no clue what her name was. I only knew her at the OMG Artistry, and I was trying to introduce
Yeah.
her to my friends, and it was like really awkward to say, "Oh, this is OMG Artistry," as opposed to their name. I felt like so weird. But Olivia, being the pro that she is, she just put out her hand and goes, "Hi, I'm Olivia." I go, "Oh yeah, Olivia, Olivia."
She's
Gene,
good
what's
at
up,
that.
man? How you been?
I've been so great. I'm a brand new mom. My baby's about to be 1. I can't believe that. Life is good. Been
Are we
really,
sharing
really
her name?
busy. Her name is Zoe.
Zoe Sicard.
Zoe Noelle Sicard, my little angel baby. She's so cute. She is so cute. She's just, oh God, you could have like a million problems at work or anything, and you just come home and they all are gone. Like, it's just such a good feeling. I love being a mom. I've always wanted to be a mom. So, and it's like, when is the right time? When is the right time? When is the right time? And, everything just has worked out perfectly for me in that thing. I was always like, I'm getting too old. I'm getting too old. I'm going to be 34 in June. And I'm like, I'm going to be too old. And I'm just like, what the fuck was I even thinking? Like, I have time. Like, it's just, I just feel so at peace in my 30s as a new mom, as a business owner. Life feels good. I feel really good.
That's amazing. What are you focusing on this year?
What am I focusing on?
Well,
So, my,
let me set it up like this. Do you do New Year's resolutions?
okay, so yes. So I'm actually doing a vision boarding workshop for my staff tonight. Like I've done all kinds of Christmas parties. And I've done everything. I've done the breakfast, I've done the fancy dinner, I've done the party, I've done the hangout. I've been a salon owner for 10 years. So I've done tons of different Christmas parties. And this year, I really wanted our Christmas party to kind of go more with our values, which our values are like health, transparency, community, growth. And like, I was like, you know what? Everyone's so busy in the holidays. I'm not going to take up another day of their holiday. Everyone's busy. Um, so I decided to do our holiday party today, January 6th. In the evening, we're going to be doing a vision boarding workshop where I'm going to do like a 2025 bingo card and where they write stuff that they want to do. And then we're going to do a vision board, a meditation, and then like a releasing ceremony. It's like a 2-hour thing. I'm a yoga teacher, so like I can do all of that, meditation and all that stuff. So we're going to get together. I'm going to get Chick-fil-A for them. And it's going to be like a really nice night, but I've been kind of working on mine and on my bingo card, I want to make a beef Wellington.
Nice.
I want to make a beef Wellington. I want to use my planner all year. I bought like a content creator planner. My goal is to like be way better and more intentional about content creation. Um, and I want to buy a building. That is my number one goal is I want to buy a building because my lease is going to be up at the network in about a year and a half. So I need to figure out what I'm going to do, if I'm going to stay or go. My goal is to buy a building. It's like my number one professional goal this year. Um, I went hybrid this year. My salon has been a booth rental salon for about three full years. We've been full. This place has ran itself, had 2 managers running everything. Made decent money. You really never make that much money as a salon owner. And I always say this, I've had a small, medium, large, and extra large salon. I had 1,800 square feet at GBH. Then we expanded to 4,000. Then we moved over to the network and we had 5,000. And now we have 9,600 square feet. In those 4 situations, I have made the same amount of money. I have not made more. I have not made less. I actually made the most money in my salon business in my first salon when I was behind the chair full time with two assistants with dirt cheap overhead. So the bigger you go, you don't make more money. So,
But it seems like you acquire a lot more problems, or you
oh my
certainly acquire
God,
a lot more
yes,
people. So
yes.
people usually
Not
equal problems.
yeah, it's not worth it. So, my goal in 2025, well, I had a lot of renters move on, right? I think that that's like important to talk about. If you're a salon owner, you're going to have turnover, no matter if people are like buddy buddy with you, no matter how good of a job that you're doing. We when people leave the network, they're like, I love it so much here. There's no feedback I can give you, but I want to change, but I want to save money, but I want to do this. But they have like their butts, but it's like you can give, 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 and people still move on. So in my journey here at the network, we have 32 chairs. To keep 32 chairs full is a full-time job, right? So we went hybrid this year because we have chairs open for the first time. So my focus, to answer your original question, is my salon. And with booth rental, all I had to worry about were the amenities. Make sure we have treats, make sure we have, this, make sure the salon is clean, make sure I've got someone at the front desk greeting people. I really only had to focus on amenities. But now that I have stylists again, I'm kind of going back to, that end-to-end guest experience when people find out about us, all the way to if a client doesn't come back, how are we rescuing those clients? How are we learning from those clients? How are we reaching out to those clients? So the end-to-end experience is my focus. It also, I believe, should be everyone's focus because in 2025, I feel like hairstylists need to take a step back and kind of look at their business. If you're in the industry 3 to 5 years and you don't have a solid book, it's not the economy, it's not all these external factors, it's you. It's you. You need to look in the mirror and find the break in your experience. So my focus is the end-to-end experience. It's also what I focus on this year in my mastermind group. I have 12 business classes. You can purchase each class individually, or you can join mastermind and get them all. But I'm focusing on business classes that are focused around the end-to-end experience. So that's my big focus in 2025. Also, just my salon. I want my salon to be like the salon everybody looks up to, and that doesn't happen by accident.
No, it has to be a plan there. I have so many questions, but I want to give the floor to Gabby.
Yeah. All right. Um, God, there's so much that you said that stuck out to me, but I think the biggest thing is, self-reflection, because I think that's a lot of something that people do at the top of the year. And, when I look at you, and I think one of the things that impressed me most about you when I reached out for the artist spotlight, as you mentioned, being a yoga teacher, like just doing all of the things. And I think that's something that, and I don't know, you can talk a little bit about this, whether you feel like that's a push in the industry to be doing so much and how that can almost be overwhelming if the focus needs to be like getting clients in the chair when there is the sort of push to be multifaceted, right? To be a content creator, to be an educator, be a salon owner, like do all the things. Like there's all these aspirations, and I think there's maybe a little bit of an attempt to like jump the gun and want to do all those things right away out of cosmetology school, but sometimes you have to like take that step back and reflect. And so I'm sort of curious like what your thoughts are on sort of being multifaceted as a hairstylist, like starting out and doing that fresh out of cosmetology school, or like how do you find that time to reflect? Like how do you get there,
Yeah, I think it's such a good question. And I want to like jump off by saying there is a question that you asked in this interview. And
Yeah.
I told you in the beginning, this is my favorite interview I've ever done. I feel like this is the most honest, and I am the smartest that I've ever been. So giving this advice at this time, I feel like is really, really good. But I give the most real advice ever, and it's not easy advice to give. You asked, you're also a salon owner. How do you balance all of the different hats you wear as a hair professional? What advice do you have for other beauty pros who also want to be multifaceted? And I said, the more you could focus on one thing, the better you will do. One of my biggest struggles is managing too many responsibilities all at once. This is the key. Before you take on something new, master what you're currently doing and avoid starting new projects as an escape from the hard work required from your existing commitments. This advice, I think people need to understand that this advice is like the greatest advice I could give anybody because when you're in hair school, you need to focus on becoming a proficient hairdresser. You need to focus on your craft. When you're the first 2 to 3 years out of hair school, your only focus should be your craft, your craft, your craft, and documenting. Taking photos and posting photos so you have a portfolio is like the bare minimum on social media, and anybody can do that. Like anyone new coming into the industry and has been born with a freaking iPhone in their hand, like that is nothing. You're going to be scrolling for 4 hours a day anyway. Just document, take pictures, and take videos. Like it's honestly like you can't even say like, oh, I know it's a lot to ask. It's not. Like you're born with a phone in your hand. Focus on your craft, take pictures, and post them. Once you build a clientele and you're 80% booked consistently and you're building, you're built, at that point, that's where you can kind of look and say, okay, I'm built now. Maybe I should specialize. Maybe I should open a suite. Maybe I should open a do booth rental. Then at that point, you need to focus on business, experience, craft. So it's like you have this going before you grab something else. A lot of people aren't even doing well at their craft and then they go rent a chair.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so now you're bringing a broken experience into a business. So it's really about like not running from the hard work and like burying yourself in other things and doing the best, like mastering the system before you move on. Like I just can't say it enough. And the best example I can give is when I was a new salon owner in my first salon, Gina Bianca Hair. I had a failing salon and I was doing really well on social media. And I was escaping the hard work of working on my salon and jumping into education because education was easy. So I kind of let my salon do its thing, and it wasn't the best place to work, but I was making all my money somewhere else. So I thought, it's fine. I'm making money. Everything is fine. But in reality, before I turned my back, I should have had that system running. That's a perfect example of instead of focusing on my salon, I focused on what was easy.
Mm. What, Gina, how long ago did you open the OG Gina Bianca hair?
In 2014, so 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So how have you changed as a manager? How have you changed as a business owner? Mainly, and I'm more interested. I don't really care about the numbers, but I'm more interested in like as your relationships with the people that work with you, work under you, work whatever. How are you as a manager?
It's hard because I opened at 23 and I'm now 33. So like when no one knows anything at 23. But if you ask me, I knew everything. Like I wasn't listening to anybody. Like I'm Italian. I'm like I kind of just like did not listen to anyone. You can't tell me nothing. Like Kanye West, like literally I was just super cocky. I wanted everything done my way. I had a huge following in my area, and everyone knew me. Like I was very popular in my area, and I feel like that was really great for my salon. In I feel like it's weird because I feel like I was at my best, but also at my worst. So like I was at my best because I was training in the trenches. And I currently don't do hair more than twice a month now. So I can't train people in the way that I used to. So like now when I hire people, I don't really hire out of school because I can't give them the experience they truly need. So I'll have people who really, really, really want to work here, and I have to sit them down and be like, why do you want to work here? Well, I want to work with you. Well, you're not going to work with me. I work in my office most days. I do hair one day a month. Like I have to tell them like, no, like that's not what you're getting here. And I really have to be more blunt and honest. And I feel like I'm way more blunt and honest today than I was then. But I also was a better trainer then because I was in the trenches with a full clientele. But if you ask me, like, at a deeper level, like how I'm different, I don't take things as personal. And I'm very like, I've done a lot of work on myself. So something bad may happen. And I used to spend weeks ruminating over it. And now I'll spend hours ruminating over it. And eventually it'll be like minutes, you know? Like I had something happen last week and I was so fucking mad about it. And I was mad about it. I talked to my husband on the phone about it. I went out to dinner with my friends and vented about it, vented about it, vented about it. Then the next day I vented about it for like 2 hours. And then now I'm over it. Back then, I might hold on to something for months. And I think salon owners get that way. We take everything so personal because being a business owner is hard enough, right? It's your livelihood, your money, everything is on the line. But then being a salon owner, because of the relationship factor, like it's harder to be a salon owner because you have these relationships and emotions with people. So I feel like then I was much more emotional. I was very young. I didn't really know anything. I took a lot of stuff personal. And then today, I'm more transparent. I'm more real. I'm more blunt and honest. And I have no problem saying, I don't have time to focus on this. You know, if someone comes in and they're complaining about stuff that's completely out of my control, hey, I don't have time to focus on this. Like, you're going to have to get it together. You know,
That makes
like
you a
when
better manager. You think you're a better manager now?
I think I'm a way better manager now because I also need to hire the best people for the business. Like, I can't focus on my work, and my manager can't focus on her work if we have to babysit someone who's not good at the job.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's almost like I'm more like three strikes, you're out. When in the past, it's like I'm babysitting someone for 2 years and then they quit. You know
Anyway,
what I mean? I think there's a lot that all goes into it. I think I'm a better manager leader now, much more transparent, blunt, open, honest, understanding for sure. But and then I don't hold on to things for a long time. I just like, maybe a day or two I need to like ruminate over it, then it's over. Before I would hold a grudge for like a year.
yeah.
I think a lot of salon owners are like that, and from the people I talk to, and the people who like, are in my trainings and coaching and stuff like that. Like a lot of people take things so personal, and I'm like, what if you took all this energy and focus on how to fix the broken system that led to this?
Yeah, I love that. That's powerful.
But it's a lot, Gabby, you asking like, how do you manage it all? I kind of like, I'm like the person, if I have an idea, I'll just do it. And then I end up with more stuff to manage. I think the biggest thing is to find what you love to do the most and try to delegate a lot of stuff to make sure that you're not doing stuff that anybody can do. I don't know how we survived without ChatGPT before.
Preach.
I don't know. I was working on something this weekend. Worked on it for about 4 hours. It would have taken me 4 days in the past to do that, 4 full 8-hour days. And I just write in a chat GPT, I love you so much. Thank you. I don't know what I would do without you. And it was like, oh my God, you're so welcome. Let me know what else you need. I was like, I literally was like, I love my robot. Like, I don't know how we did anything before ChatGPT. So
Sometimes I
I think
forget that I'm talking to a robot too. So I'm like, oh, do I want to re-ask this question? And then you go, oh, it's a computer. It doesn't care. The machine doesn't
Doesn't
care.
judge
But
you.
it's so weird, man.
Can I
I just
embarrassingly admit that I have not used Chat GTP yet? I've not used it once. I say it like
GPT, GPT.
GPT.
I
Yeah.
I see
I'm
people
gonna
do
get,
GBT,
I'm
and I'm
gonna
like,
guess
stop.
that Gabby has a lot of ego around that. Gonna guess.
Yeah, as an editor, I feel like
That's it.
because my job is writing and doing all of that. There's a little bit. It's a little bit of that of like I don't wanna.
So I
Oh,
saw this thing, and it was like your job is not going to get replaced by ChatGPT, but someone using ChatGPT could replace you.
that's
Like,
fair.
and I think that like it just makes things more efficient. Like today I did a meeting with this girl. I took notes the whole time. And it's an educator coming to do a class. I took notes the whole time and I just put in Chat GPT, please write me a summary. And I just sent it over to her. Like it just saved so much time so that I could have more time to focus on other things. Like with my podcasts, like, I do all my podcasting stuff myself and it takes forever, but like Chat GPT has totally helped me like streamline it. And even AI tools with Canva, like a lot of stuff just helps make you faster so you could focus your genius on what you want to focus it on. Like no one wants to spend their time like literally going through and proofreading something. Like you could do so much more with your creativity than
Okay, a couple.
proofreading.
I think this conversation can be just me and you, Gina, since Gabby hasn't jumped on board yet. But one thing that I love to do is like certainly in the morning, like when you're consuming like articles and stuff. I don't do the news, but you know there'll be like sports articles or stuff. I'll copy the link to the article. I'll put it in ChatGPT and I'll say summarize it, and then it'll summarize like all the opinion out and just give me like the meat of the thing in like less than a paragraph. And I'm like I can consume so much more that way, which I absolutely love. And here was a great one. Last year I was moderating a panel and at Beauty Gives Back, and what I did is I sent out a questionnaire to all the panelists, and then I compiled all the. By the way, I had chat write the questionnaire as well. But then I took all of it and I had them. I uploaded them all up into ChatGPT, and I was like, write me out my questions, and it wrote me out 45 minutes of questions for a panel, and it was like the most beautiful thing ever, because it's definitely something that would have, first of all, it would have taken me so long. I frankly would not have done it, because this lives in my insecurity, like my writing, my like, am I smart enough? Am I what? And it removes all of that. All of that is gone, and all it is just matter of fact. I've had to write all my bios over the last 2 or 3 years, once again, because how do you make a bio sound sexy? And with chat, it just asks me, I say, ask me 10 questions about, for my bio. And it's just matter of fact. Where were you born? What are you proud of? What have you done? Like, oh, I know all that stuff. And then it makes it sexy and stuff. Like I'm such a big fan. I look for reasons to use it. I don't even Google anymore. I do everything through chat. I don't Google at all.
I
Really.
know I have ChatGPT as my like main search engine.
Completely. Completely.
I just add write a new bio to my to-do list because I need to do like the ask me 10 questions. You know what I did with it, which was really cool?
Okay,
I
okay,
did
hold on,
like
hold on, hold
a
on. But don't ask it to ask you 10 questions. Ask it to ask you questions, because you don't want to limit it with 10 questions, because it's very what word am I looking for? Very it'll take your direction directly.
got it. Yeah. What I did was I was doing a last minute class and I was like, what do I want this class to be about? And I just put a video of myself on Instagram. I was like, what are the most unprofessional things that stylists do? And I got like 400 comments, and I took all the comments I put in ChatGPT. I said, put these in order of most mentioned to least mentioned and give me the top 10. And it was so good. I like literally built a class around what my audience wanted. It was so cool.
Dude, that is genius. Hey, Gabby,
Great.
you're the student in the room. Any questions about Chat GPT?
Yeah, I think I know not to know so much questions. I guess like it's because you're talking about writing bios and I'm like, that's what I do. Like someone will send me over their article and I'll like go and look it up. Like that's all stuff that I do, it's part of my job and I like doing it. Like it's fun. And so I feel like I feel like I'm the opposite. I'm finding excuses to not use it because I like the things I'm doing. But I think in 2025 it's something I'm gonna change, because I was even my cousin is involved in AI data, all of that. It was like using Chat GTP, and he literally looked up like rapper names for me over like using Chat GTP, like using stuff about me. It's the Chicago accent. But yeah, I think it's beneficial. I know there's a lot of hairstylists that I've been, I think Elizabeth also mentioned it as well in her January, February piece, just about being more efficient. And I think it's smart how you use it. But I do find it interesting that you use it for a search engine too, instead of using Google, because I think I like almost the seeking
So
things
as
out
a
and trying
search
to
engine,
find
it's
it.
beautiful because it sources it for you. So like you ask a question or you're looking for something, and like I'll look and I don't know if you've used it like this, Gina, but I'll like if I'm buying a camera, like give me the top 10 reasons, I need this camera. What are the best cameras out there right now? Where, if you go through Google, you've got to go through 1,000 different ads and 1,000 different things.
That's true.
And chat it just listed out and why it's good for whatever. I use it literally for everything, like anything I used to go to Google for, which by the way, I mean, Google was great, for what it was, but now we're like at the next level. And this is just the basics of how it's used. Gabby, I will tell you this. As a writer, I don't think you have to be all weird about it, because
Yeah.
chat only gets you 90% there, right? Like it gets you 90% there, and then the other 10% where you can really double down on your editing skills. I think that is also exactly what's going to set you apart. Like I'm always going to have rocket emojis in mine, because mine's like 99% chat, but if you went in and then you re-edited it to there. Anyways, Gina, thoughts?
The other thing is too, like I wrote this whole ebook And I wrote it all in my own words. Like I wrote like 20 pages of this ebook, just like straight from the heart. I told my story. I went through and I did all the points that I wanted to talk about. And it was a mess. You know what I mean? It was like it needed a heavy edit. But what I did is I just put the whole thing in ChatGPT and I said proofread only,
Ooh.
and it keeps it in your voice. So I think like I can spot ChatGPT a mile away. I could spot when people are using it as their main thing. Like if you're just like write me a caption about extensions, like I could spot that no problem. So I think it's still good when people write from their own words and then use it as a proofread function. I think like if you need inspiration and stuff too, that's cool. But like I think it is like a beautiful way to just like speed up putting things in your own words.
Yeah, being more efficient. I think that's a big thing for
Yeah.
2025. A lot of people are looking to be more efficient. And I think it's something that people keep recommending because, again, like as a hairstylist, you're doing so many things behind the
Mhm.
chair, and it's just anywhere that you can save time, you need to do that. And I respect
Yeah.
that because,
Totally.
yeah,
And like, to answer your question, literally just master the thing you're working on first before you move on to something else. Like, don't, it really is putting too much on your plate when your systems aren't in order. Like, really focus on when you're in hair school, focus on being the best freaking hairdresser you could be. When you get out of hair school, focus on your craft, focus on your end-to-end experience. When, you're 80 to 90% booked consistently, then maybe focus on the next thing. Don't try to do everything all at once. If you did want to add things to your plate, just go easy on yourself. Like if you want to teach classes, teach like one class at first. Don't put like 18 classes up at once. Like you just need to go easy on yourself. And what's cool about like how my life is right now, I have a lot of different income streams that like, some of them are just on the back burner. And then if I need them, I could turn them all the way on. So I think it's cool to have stuff, but like, I have a lot going on, but my main focus right now is my salon. The rest of it is like, I have a podcast. I'm supposed to release a podcast on Monday. 2025, I'm going to release them on like Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not going to be like so psycho about it anymore. I'm just going to say like, hey, the majority of my income is coming from this. I need to focus 80, 90% of my intention on this. So I try to kind of think like that too. So
yeah. Yeah, because I know the reason why I asked you, and I know you do dive into it in our November, December issue, is just to like elaborate on it more. Because I think, when you have a magazine, there's only like so much you can, fit word page wise. But yeah, I think it's all super important because I think there is in the industry a push to like do everything all at once. And you're like, it's especially a graduating stylist, very wide eyed and eager and wanting to do all the things. And you kind of you have to go through the motions, go through the step by step. You have to build and get there rather than trying to just jump and do everything right away.
yeah, and also like, if you're constantly on social media, if you're constantly watching everybody else, comparison is not a good place to be. I just posted a quote. It's you can't be creative if you're stuck in comparison.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's like you see a lot of people doing a lot of stuff, but like how much time are you spent focus on someone else? Like be the main character of your own story. Don't focus on every other character. Like you have to be the main character of your story. So I think like the less time you could spend, I mean, that's not good advice for me because I want you to watch my stuff. I want you to focus on my character. But if I'm being your friend, your mentor, your coach, I'm going to say stop focusing on everyone else and focus on your clients.
Right. Because
You
the
know,
people
some,
that you're focused on too are probably like have been in the industry for a while, right? Like they had to go through the motions too. And so they, you just have to get there. Go ahead, Corey.
Totally.
I also would, I think this is related, Gina, but you can call me out if it's not. But like even when like you're posting, be in learn mode. So when you start posting, especially when you're young, and you're posting pictures, like posting them are way more important than them to be perfect because you're never going to get perfect or you're never even going to like breathe what perfection can look like unless you have to see it through the eyes of posting it. You have to see about like what's working, what's not working, and how you're telling the story. You can't possibly figure out how to tell the story if you're not telling the story.
Yeah, things don't need to be perfect. Perfect is dysfunctional. You don't need to be, obsessing over it. For me, the more time, effort, energy, and production quality goes into my content, the worse it does.
Mm.
Like and I learned this from Cynthia Lumsey. I don't know if you follow her. She's amazing. I met her at an oligo retreat like 10 years ago, no, like 6 years ago or something. And she was posting something and she was like, ah, just run it. And I was like,
That's it.
just run it. I
Right.
was like, just run it. So now I just post it. Like, I can obsess over how I look, how I'm talking, how the sound, oh, the sound isn't perfect. Oh, I got a stain on my shirt. I don't give a shit. Like, just post it. Like, nobody's looking that hard at you. Like, you're not that special. You're not that important. And someone needs to hear what you have to say. Maybe one person needs to hear what you need to say. And you're so obsessed with yourself that you're not going to post it. Just post it. Just run it.
Well, everybody's talking about. I think the certainly the trends that we're hearing is that authenticity wins, and moving forward, I think we're tired of everything being so contrived and so like planned out. I think the authenticity. I mean, Gary Vee's been saying it for years. Honestly, I mean, he's always said authenticity wins. And I think that we're seeing that come full circle now because we've played the other game long enough. And that's with everything. I mean, and by the way, I'm totally giving myself a pep talk now because I've got a lot of stuff going on where I need to hear these words. So, anyways,
You need to just post it. You should just run it.
yeah, that's it. I've got to go do a couple videos today, and I'm in my head a little bit about it. So I just gotta do it. And anyways, we can talk about that shit offline. But
Well, you know what though, really quick, like I just had to post a video for Marlo Beauty, and I
wait,
didn't
love
have
them. Can we shout out Marlo Beauty? I love them.
love them. I freaking love them. A girl in my town, her house burned down, and she's a hairstylist in Cosmo School. And someone sent me like the house fire, and my friend is like, she's a cosmetology student. So I messaged her. I was like, what do you need? And she's like, everything. I was like, oh my God. So I literally called Marlo and they sent me everything for this girl. So I'm dropping
That's
it
awesome.
off for her today. They're just so amazing. But I posted that video. And I immediately noticed because I don't put mascara on until like the last possible second because I hate wearing makeup. And I look at it, I'm like, I don't have mascara. I'm like, I'm not reshooting this. Post. I'm just like, post. Like, I don't care. Like,
Hey,
post.
on a real level, did she get everything?
Yeah, I think I need shears for her. I need scissors. I think I'm gonna give her just a pair of mine.
Because I mean,
I'm gonna
I might have some blow dryers and clippers and flat irons and stuff like
she
that. She
yeah,
has.
she Marlo sent all of it.
That's
I'll
awesome.
let you know though. They're so amazing though. They always come through.
Arlo is amazing. I'm such a big fan of those guys and of that company. One, they're family based, they're family owned. I mean the woman's name is Marlo.
Yeah, she's so cool. Oh my God, I love her.
Yes.
They're just great. Her and Katie, like they're just really good people. And I don't work with a lot of brands anymore, and I love working with them.
We don't work for them at all. I just love them. Like
Yeah.
whenever you see them, it feels like you're having a conversation around like a dinner table kind of thing. Like that's
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
we actually did a podcast a couple months ago with Ing, and I just find Ing fascinating too. Just
Yep.
interesting. And again, it feels like you're supporting like your neighbor's business and not like some billion-dollar corporate company, whatever. Um, that's awesome. So you brought up something too. You both did, and you were talking about like I find with myself that when I'm jumping thing to thing to thing, that normally I'm running. I'm usually running away from something. And I think you kind of brought it up, Gina, like you started focusing less on what you had to do and what felt comfortable. And I kind of feel like I'm definitely guilty of that. You're running to what feels comfortable and not so you spend less time in like where you're not feeling so comfortable. Is that accurate?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like when I started my education business, my salon needed me more than ever. Like it needed me more than ever. I needed better systems. I needed better training, but I had so many stylists like leave to go rent a chair. That's why I opened a booth rental salon. But I had so many people leave to go rent a chair. I was just like, I don't even want to train anymore. They just leave. So now I want people to pay me to train.
Mm.
And like I needed to triple down on training. As a salon owner, like my name was on the door. I needed to triple down on training. But instead of like opening myself up to more hurt, I just went into education. It's easy to run into the arms of something easier,
Right.
but it's not easy to double down and say, like, hey, I'm going to teach you everything I know, full and well knowing you're probably going to leave.
Yeah. It's
That's way harder
a
than
tough,
making 20 grand a weekend, 30 grand a weekend.
right? Yeah.
It's way
Can we
harder.
pivot and chat about that for a second? Or just like
Sure.
relevant to that because I was chatting with because Corey introduced me the Hairdresser Strong show, and we kind of had this conversation because I have a friend who is like a newish cosmetologist. She's been in the industry less than 5 years. Um, and so one of the things I was super interested in is like getting out of cosmetology school because you mentioned training people, like figuring out where to start and where to begin. And I was also having this conversation internally with our magazine, and because I also worked on one of our sister magazines, the Nail magazine, for a decent chunk of my time with the company, and how there's kind of this difference, and that I feel like, and I guess I'm curious your thoughts on this, um, like starting out, like where you start out in a salon environment, because I think there's a lot of people that are jumping to wanting to do booth rental and wanting to be their own business owners, but I feel like there's almost, you can tell me your thoughts on this, a push to stray away from that and be, when you're fresh out of cosmetology school, an environment where you can be mentored, where you can grow. And you kind of talked about that a little bit earlier when you were talking about like doing interviews and being like, hey, I can't be that resource for you. Because do you think it's like more students need that support
Yeah, I
and
don't
that
think
growth?
there's a lot of opportunities available. That's the thing. Like, and you
Yes.
know what? I'm going to be honest. I don't think a lot of people want what comes with that. So let me give you an example. I have a girl who just started and she's been in the industry for a while, but she moved here. She didn't have a ton of people follow her. So she's like building back up, right? And I'm just like, okay, well, you can come in and you can clock in and you can work around the salon. You can do the desk, you could do laundry, you can deep clean. And she's like, no, I'd rather not. She wants to make straight commission and just work when she has a client. She only wants to do hair, does not want to do anything else. So I have that option for them. Like, if you want to do that, fine. Like, that's fine. Don't even clock in because you're just going to get straight commission. And I have like another person who's like 8 months out of school and they're just like, I'm not doing that. I just want to do hair. Right. And then I have one girl who's like, I'll do anything, you know? And I just think that a lot of people don't. And my husband and I were talking about it. He's like, how can you ask them? Like, he's like, I'm an electrician. If I work at a place and they don't have a lot of work for me, I'm not going to clock in and sweep the floor. I'm just going to go home. It's not worth my time. I'll do electrical work or that's it. And I'm just like, when you say it, it sounds normal. But as a small business owner who like needs help around the salon to have people not want to do anything, it's really hard. So I think like a lot of people don't want what comes with it. They want to just get paid to train, which for a salon owner in this economy is not realistic. Like, I can't pay $1,000 a month to have a cleaner and to have you work here and get paid to train. But I can pay you to do a lot of stuff around the salon, train, take clients. I can market you, but it's a lot of people don't want to do it. And that's just what I'm seeing. Like, I'm not saying like this generation doesn't want to work. I'm saying they want to work, but they only want to do what they want to do. And many do feel they're above
Yeah.
doing work like that. But I have to say, like, if serving is below you, leadership is beyond you. Like, I would not be the person I am if I didn't have that work ethic kind of beaten into me. And I think the people who are most successful are going to take that experience no matter what and like really take pride in their space. You never really appreciate a space until you take care of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
think, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Corey. Okay, cool. Because I was just gonna say, like, I find that super interesting because, like, so many, every time I do an artist spotlight or an interview or just kind of like anything, the first thing I ask is like, how did you get your start in the industry? And so many people mention it's like the sweeping floors, they're just like being in a salon environment. Maybe they did kids' haircuts. I think there was someone who mentioned that. Um, and it's like getting that beginner start. And I think again, like it is a continual issue. Like it's everything all kind of weaves together, which is kind of the reason why I'm bringing it up. Um, is that it feels like there's this need to want to like jump the gun, right? And like I want to own my own business and like booth rent and just be able to do hair right away fresh out of cosmetology school. I want to be a social media influencer right out of cosmetology school. I want to be an educator up on stage right out of cosmetology school. And it's like you have to get there. And I
There are
think,
people who do it. There are unicorns that do it, but it's
yeah,
one in a million. Like I'm
and
thinking
everyone
hair
thinks they're a
hair by
unicorn.
Lexi. Hair by Lexi. She's coming to teach at the network in May 5th.
Love her.
And I just have seen her go from like 0 to 1 million followers. And she's social, like her main focus is social media. She does hair, but her main focus is social media. And I think like there are people who do it. But it's
Right.
like the average everyday person is not going to put that much effort. I worked 40 hours a week behind the chair, 20 hours as a salon owner, and then an additional 40 hours on social media. Like my page is not an accident. I always tell people that every brand deal I've been hounding people, like nothing ever was handed to me. I went out and grabbed it. So I really do think like people need to realize that, and then they get let down because they don't realize how hard it really is.
Well, I think that also kind of like runs into the whole conversation. You know, if you're not willing to do the dirt, then it's really it's hard. I mean, you did a lot of dirt to be able to build your social platform. You did a lot of dirt in order to have the relationships within the within brand relationships that you had. I mean, that takes a lot of that hard work that sometimes, and when I say sometimes, all the time, is uncomfortable. You know, we run up against that a lot now, you know, and to me, it's no different than sweeping the floor, because the floor needs to be swept. You know, a lot of it is just, it has to be done because it has to be done. And if it's not done, you can't move forward with it. You know, I don't know. I think I'm speaking in circles or something, but
Yeah. I mean, I've been in the
It's
industry
also
15 years. It's 15 years of work, and people see it and they're like, I could do that in 1 year. And it's like, well, I didn't.
yeah,
yeah.
I hope so. You know, I hope you are that unicorn. I hope you all are. All right, I'm going to switch the conversation here a little bit, because you said something in our ChatGPT conversation that fired me up. So, Gina, I want you to talk about it if you're prepared. But you talked about you had chat run off your. I'm super curious. And what was the top 10 list of people running their business professionally?
Ooh, hold on.
Pause.
Pause. Yeah, I'm glad.
So you had it. So Ginny, you've got it right there. You've had it all printed out and stuff.
Yeah, so this is my workbook from my class. So I had a few.
Oh, wait a
few
second. Whoa,
extra.
this is an actual class?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead
Yeah, she
then. What
mentioned
type of
that.
class? G?
Teach us.
All right, cool.
I've got two G's in the room.
So, all right, so
GB,
this is
two GBs.
That's it.
Oh, I love that. So, top unprofessional things that stylists do.
Okay,
And then
wait
I
a
have
second.
a whole.
Hold on. Okay, I got to back up a little bit. So whose criteria is this? You said you put it on social, so this is the industry. So the industry is saying, or the people that responded back to your thing said, this is what's unprofessional about our industry, and then you've just compiled them. Is that right?
Yeah, I just said, what are the most unprofessional things that stylists do?
Well, this is juicy.
Yeah, I love it. Um, Being late frequently and changing appointments. That
Okay,
was
hold on.
number one.
Oh no! Come on, fuck, Gina. We got to do it the other way. What was number 10?
Okay. Okay. So we'll go backwards.
Well, yeah, I guess I got to have to edit that out now. Okay, go backwards.
Just stop the recording and we'll start over.
No, just go ahead. Just go
All
ahead.
right.
It's all fun.
So I have 18. Do you want me to do top 10?
Well, let's go through 8 through 10, and let's just name them, and then 10 through 1, maybe we'll have a discussion.
All right. So this list is compiled of all the top unprofessional things that stylists do. And this is straight from my social media. So being a mess / chaotic in the salon. So maybe people who double book without an assistant, people who don't clean up their dishes, people who leave their lunch like spread out on the table. They don't clean up after themselves. They leave a trail. Okay. Next, performing services they are not fully educated in, such as extensions without proper training. Venting all of their problems to clients instead of creating a relaxing atmosphere. Speaking about inappropriate topics to clients, especially where other clients or professionals can hear.
Like, i.e., politics or sex or something?
Sure. Making fun of other stylists or bashing them on social media. Tearing down other stylist clients or coworkers. Letting clients blow dry their own hair.
Oh, what number is that?
Number 12.
Okay.
Number 11, eating or having the smell of food everywhere in the salon. So this was microwaving fish was what it said. And I was like, yeah, ew. All right, these are the top 10.
Go, top 10. Let's go.
Top 10. Number 10, allowing clients to interrupt conversations with other clients.
Really?
Like having your client like butting into the station next to you. I feel like that could drive a stylist out of a salon, is having someone set up next to them who's a pain in the ass. Who, like, I saw a TikTok and it was just like, when the stylist next to me has 5 haircuts and I heard their life update 5 times already and it's 10 o'clock. And I was like, yeah, it's fucking annoying, right?
Yeah, well, welcome to the salon world, right? I mean, that's it.
Welcome to the salon world, but also like talk at a reasonable volume.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't know. Like because the two people that I work in the suite with, we've all known each other for 30 years, and the thing we just it tends to be like a family conversation. But I guess that could be annoying.
I think there's a lot more introverts in the industry than there ever have been. Um,
Number nine.
Number 9, shaming clients on social media.
Fuck it.
Number 8, joining
Hold
in
on, hold on,
gossip.
Stacey. What do you don't know when I'm moving on? Yeah, that shaming anyone, by the way, publicly is we kind of had the conversation off air, but like I find that just so disrespectful to, and by the way, not to your client but to yourself and to the industry as a whole. I think it's just a really shitty thing to put out there in the hair world. Carry on.
Yeah, I just think hairstylists need to get back to focusing on their clients. And if you're making fun of your clients, you're like, people are not going to come to you.
Right.
Clients see that and they're like, okay, I'll take my money somewhere else. Like, I think
Well,
it's not good.
the
Can I
truth.
add something? Go ahead. Or do you want to
Yeah,
go
let me
ahead?
make my point, and then you can, Gab. The truth
Yeah.
is, and this has always been the truth for me, is that if you're talking shit about a mutual friend or you're talking shit about somebody that we know, I know when I'm out of the room, you're talking shit about me. So clients are definitely going to feel that you're talking shit about them when they're not in the room. Carry on, Gab.
Yeah, because one of the things I was gonna say is because I consider, I mean, obviously, I don't know, I exist in a weird space as an editor where I'm like, I'm a professional, but also I'm more of a client than I feel like anything else because I don't know the side. All the like, I'm not a hairstylist. You wouldn't want me cut coloring or styling your hair; it'd be a recipe for disaster. Anyway, um, one of the things that I feel like that is interesting and people have such hot box opinions on it is like hair color trend names. And people like hairstylists hating that because they're like, it's just brunette or it's just copper or it's just red or it's just blonde. And
It's
it's like,
marketing.
yeah, it's and so many people bash that, and it's like, well, it's also a way for a client to understand if they're like, I want like a strawberry blonde or a cowboy copper, like what
And
they mean,
getting, yeah, and getting them excited to come see you. Like,
right? If they know the trend, right? Like, and so I feel like I've seen a lot of like I was at an event, and I'm not going to say which one, but there was a lot of people who were like very like anti hair color trend names, and that like really stuck out to me because I was like, yeah, they can be sort of repetitive, and there's some of them that I think are like a little bit like more random than others. But I think it is part of the client experience, and so I just like I always find that interesting because people I think have very hot box opinions on it, and I think it ties back a lot to the client experience. Anyway.
100%. So 10 is allowing clients to interrupt. Number 9 is shaming clients on social media. Number 8, joining in on gossip or talking badly about other stylists or clients.
Same as nine for me.
Yeah, so they're very similar, these three. Making fun of clients online. So shaming and then making fun of them. So those were in there. And then number 6, not sitting clients down for a consultation before every appointment.
Really, I'm not surprised that it's on the list. I'm surprised it's that high on the list.
Yeah,
I'm
it's high.
not.
Yeah, well, some people will just like, okay, go to my chair. I'm gonna go mix up.
Yes, I agree with that. I'm just like, given that it was hairdressers that had responded to it, I'm just surprised that it was that.
I think
Not that it's not an issue, but that it's being recognized as an issue.
I think I'm not surprised at all from an editor perspective because I think there's so many hairstylists that educate upon the importance of the consultation. I think we've even written articles about it that may have been a little bit before me or, early when I was starting out talking about the importance of a consultation. And I went to an old school hairdresser for a decent chunk of my life and I never had a consultation before. I was just like sat in the chair and it was like, all right, color highlights because she just did the thing and knew what she was doing and has been in the industry so long. And so I was never used to as a client like having a consultation. And then I started going to my friend who was a newer hairstylist, to like sit with her. And it was like a show me the inspo, but like it was a whole radically different experience. And so I like started to understand from a client perspective the importance of the consultation. So
Gina,
I get it.
Gina, what's a consultation for a 20-year color retouch for you?
For a 20-year color retouch?
Or someone that you've been doing for a long time, and like you've been doing color retouch or a haircut, like a bob shape haircut or something. What would that
No,
consultation?
I'll sit with them. How are you? How's it going? What are we doing? Like, do you have any pictures? What are we doing? What do you want to do today? Like, I don't really go and like just go mix.
Right.
Even out and I'll also try to like get them to try something different or upsell. Like I feel like if you're just like in that routine, I feel like it's hard to do any of that because like then you're already doing their hair and you can't really bring any new ideas if you're already like doing it.
That's the idea. Right. All right, cool. Next.
Number 5, performing a service without discussing prices, maintenance, and timing expectations beforehand.
That goes back to the consultations on there too, as well. You know.
Mhm.
By the
Keep
way,
in
can you tell
mind,
I love List? I'm
keep in
just such a big fan of List.
keep
Listicles
in
do really well on BLP, so yeah, it's not a surprise. I think a lot of hairstylists like them.
yeah, keep in mind that this was like I had like 400 comments and a lot of them said the same thing a different way. You know what I mean? So, you know, sticker shock could have been one of the answers. I think sticker shock is extremely unprofessional. If you want to lose a client, sticker shock them. If you want to lose a client, don't talk about the price before you start. That's like 101 to me.
So what's the
Number
workaround? No, hold on. Let's dive into that a little bit. What's the worker? What's the conversation?
Before we get started, can you confirm if you have a budget that you're trying to work within today? Or before we get started, I think this is going to take 2 hours. It's going to be around $200. Like I always tell people this, like, and at the network, our prices are very like based on time. So all the stylists have an hourly rate. If they're a brand new stylist, it's $60 an hour. If they're a regular stylist, it's 70. If they're a master stylist, it's 90. If they're an elite master, it's 110. And if it's me, it's 130 an hour. So you just have to know thyself, know the person's hair. Say, I think it's going to take between 3 and 3.5 hours. So that times my hourly rate, the price is this.
Right.
You can give them a la carte pricing. It's all going to be exactly the same because pricing's dialed in. So I think as long as you give them a range, then you're good.
Perfect.
And then it's a good time to know, oh, hey, actually, my budget is around 150 today. Oh my God, thanks for telling me. All right, let's do this then. Instead of sticker shocking them, they will never come back if you sticker shock them.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
I think it's extremely unprofessional and rude, and you're never going to build trust like that. I was brought up in a salon where it was weird and rude to talk about the price.
Same.
If you talk about the price, that's assuming they can't afford it. And I'm just like, okay, well,
They can't.
most of my clients are college students, so I know they can't afford it. So I'm not going to sticker shock them. I have to have them call their mom.
Yeah.
Number 4, being on the phone while working on a client.
Yep.
Ghetto. It's not good. Number 3, not dressing professionally. Number 2, talking about
Hold on. Number 3. Let's go back to number 3. I mean, that I get it. I get it, but it's such a huge window there. What is professional, what's not professional, we always ran into like what's trendy and what's professional, right? So what's your input?
You have to use the 2 out of 3 rule. So hair, makeup, outfit. So 1 can be slacking. If your outfit is slacking, your hair and makeup should be done. If your hair is not done, like maybe slick it back, do your makeup and have a good outfit. If your makeup and outfit are good, or if your hair and outfit are good, then fresh face. It's like the 2 out of 3 rule. But hairstylists have to remember, and like when I'm triple booked and busy, I want to be comfortable. Like I wear sneakers, I'm like comfortable, you know what I mean? But like you have to remember, like I always say, like at the network, the stylist comes around the corner to greet their client. That is the first impression. They are judging you. They 100% are judging you, and you better look better than them at the end of the day. Like you need to look like a beauty professional, or they may not trust you. But there's a whole debate about that,
Yeah.
But I mean, my uniform is a giant t-shirt, bike shorts, Yeezys, hair and makeup done. At least hair or makeup done. But like to me, that's fashionable and that's fine. But I'm not going to show up in yesterday's clothes with a dirty face and greasy hair with my cowlick showing. It's a different vibe. Like you have to be polished, at least looking clean, the conversation happens.
The resident boy in the room. I never look better than my clients. Isn't that the goal?
What's up?
I said, as the resident boy in the room, I'll never look better than my clients, and that should be the rule.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is a radical debate because I'll look at it like I feel like I'm bringing the client perspective in because, like I said, even though I exist in the industry, I feel like I'm more of a client than I am a pro. And I truly I don't care, but I guess it's because both of the people who've done my hair are people I've known for a very long time. So I've known them outside of doing hair, or I've just been going to them like for my entire childhood. So it's like I've never had the opportunity to form that preconceived notion. of like what they're wearing because I just know they're good at what they do. So I've never truly cared. And I feel like I don't know, maybe you have to know the client. I feel like if you're meeting a client for the first time, then maybe, but because also I think about it as a hairstylist and I'm like, you're getting down and dirty and you're mixing like color and you're gonna get messy. Like, I don't want you to be wearing a nice outfit that you're gonna like get stained and stuff. Like,
Yeah, so wear an apron, have your hair and makeup done, and look the part. And you also do better work when you like look and feel good.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like you want to be looked at as a professional. Like I can't get behind like looking like trash at work. Like I can't.
Right.
If you have a day full of clients you've been doing for 20 years and you're having a bad day, they're going to understand. But like, you know, even if you're the owner, like I struggle with this. I work in my office like 90% of the time. And like if I look like shit, I do not want to go out there. Cause like I don't want to be seen looking like that as the leader of the company. You know, so I really do think like you need to dress for the job that you want. And I also think people are always judging you.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. What's number what was that, 3?
That was number 3. Number 2, talking about themselves excessively during appointments. Got to make it about the client.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's also in honest talk. I think we all get caught in that. You know, it's just part of the experience, but to kind of remember to put it away sometimes. Number 1.
Yeah. Number 1, being late and frequently changing appointments, which is a tough one because I 100% agree, but I also like
She's good.
this is the thing. Like I need flexibility, so I give flexibility. So if my client cancels last minute or something, I don't charge anymore because I may need to can now that I'm a mom. Like if I had to cancel 2 appointments today, not hair appointments, but like meetings. And I was just like, hey, I'm so sorry. I have to bring my daughter. She has an ear infection. I have to bring her to the doctor. And, you know, and if someone's going to give me a problem about that, I'm sorry, but my daughter will always come before you. So I'm kind of like, about that. So I think if you need flexibility, you need to be flexible. So you can't be charging a 2-day cancellation policy if you ever cancel on people. And I think like you need to honor those appointments to the best of your ability and only cancel if there's a last minute like emergency. But like really think about what is an emergency and then try to set yourself up with people around you who can support you so you can put your clients first. Like I think that that's really, really important. But I think people who just show up late or who run late or who like, you know, cancel because they want to go to the beach. I think that's what they're more talking about there.
I hope so. I mean, I hope that's the case. I mean, you brought up a good point. Like if if you have a 2-day cancellation policy and then you cancel on someone for 2 days late, are you going to give them $50 off their service? You know,
That's what I mean. If
kind of
you're
a
going to do that,
it's kind of a ridiculous kind of a request. I have a cancellation policy that I absolutely never that I never use. But the reason that I have the policy isn't to enforce it. The reason the reason that I have it is so I can enforce it. But it doesn't mean I have to. You know, and what that means is like, Gina, I'm with you, man. For me and again, I've had my clients for 20 plus years, most of them, but like family has to be first. And if you're canceling because of family first, I'm also going to cancel on you because of family first. And I have to have that understanding. You know, now if I have somebody that's taking advantage of me, then that's when or I feel like they're taking advantage of me, and that'll take 10 times, you know, for me to feel that way. That's when you can kind of enforce it. But I don't enforce it because it's a rule in my book. And I think that as an industry, certainly over the last few years, we've gotten so caught up into like, you know, what's our policy that we forget that what's the experience. And I think that sometimes they bang into each other, the experience and the policy, you know.
yeah, I think you need to have a policy, but you need to also be a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
Gina?
will say that interests me, like the first one, because I feel like I think about it more like from a hair, like again, from an editor's perspective, what I've heard is that it's clients who like no call, no show. And so that's why you need the cancellation appointment in the first place. That a lot of hairstylists experience that more from a client perspective. So I wouldn't realize that's an issue in the hairstylist side of things.
I think that people,
Late or not showing up.
yeah, but I think that this is what people are talking about. You're only hearing one side of the story, but it's not the whole truthful conversation. You know, the truthful conversation. Listen, I've worked with a bunch of like janky people as hairdressers, you know, and we all have who have called out or not shown up or whatever. And anyways, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just we love to social media is filled with like we love to tell you why you're wrong, but we never want to talk about why we're wrong. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm. Well,
and
it's bashing a client. It's unprofessional to even do that. Like the best thing to do is to have the policy in place so that when the client books, they're aware of what will happen or how to cancel an appointment or when is acceptable to cancel an appointment. And then if that does happen, you could say, "Hey, listen, this is my policy, but you know what? Life happens. I'm totally down to just give one oops and then, going forward, please be mindful of my policy."
yeah,
And give them a chance because you will need that flexibility in the future. Like nobody is perfect, and I think the policy is great to have, but it's also case by case basis. If someone confirms and then no shows and they've done this before, that's a whole different story than if like you know there's an emergency.
exactly. And to your point, Gina, you can now have the conversation. It's not automatically defensive. Like you owe me money or you don't. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, just be freaking human. Gina, I love list. Anytime you want to come together with a list, I'm down, man. I think we
I
do.
love it.
Think we do it. Gina Bianca Sicard. Was that it? Did I get
No,
it?
no, no hyphen. I don't like the hyphen for me personally. So it's Gina Sicard in 2025.
So we're going to hyphen the 2025 in instead of the beyond. But that's fine. We can do whatever you want.
Perfect.
Gina, how can people find you? How can they locate you? How can they be a part of what you're into?
I'm going to tell you guys if you want to elevate your life and business, if you want to focus on your end to end client experience, you need to join my mastermind group in 2025. It's $50 a month. You get live coaching sessions with me and 12 business classes. It's insane value. And you just surround yourself with people who want to be better. And you have me as your mentor and business coach. So I think it's a no brainer to join mastermind. You can join at any time, cancel anytime. Once you're a member, you're always a member. And, I really love getting to know you guys this way. It's great. I've met so many people in the industry through my mastermind group. So highly recommend that. And then, just follow me on Instagram at I am Gina Bianca, TikTok, everything. That's where you find me. And I really appreciate you guys having me. It's always a pleasure.
Of course. One thing before we think. What's the class that you're doing with Olivia?
Oh, and Olivia and I have our Educate with Influence program. If your goal is to become an educator in 2025, this program is the blueprint to becoming an educator with influence and to have, if you are really good at marketing yourself, how to be a great educator. And if you're not really great at marketing yourself, how to be an influencer, how to influence, I always say this, there's like a big gap in the industry. There's amazing educators, but nobody knows who they are. And then there's these great influencers who don't know how to deliver a message. Like they don't know how to educate and they'll get on stage, they'll get an opportunity and they bomb. This program bridges the gap and it does help you to manage your business also. Like my whole section is all about like events, ticketing, pricing, all of that. Like it really is a full blown program. And a lot of people don't teach this because they don't want you to do what they do. And this is a whole like tell all program. And then of course it also comes with mentorship and coaching with Olivia and I. So definitely check that out. It's educatewithinfluence.com.
That's awesome. Gabby, what's up?
What's up? Thank you so much for chatting with us, Gina. It was great to talk with you. I feel like we covered so much. It was great.
Yes, my pleasure.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
lot.
Yes.
Oh,
And please go and check out Gina's feature in our November, December 2024 issue for more from her. And I know her and Olivia have also done a piece that was in one of our magazines as well, that we can link here where they talk a little bit about the social media side of things. It was really great. So yeah, there's more. Make sure you check out more from Gina. And thank you again for chatting with us.
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
GB and GB, thank you guys very much for joining us on your day off.